We want to get our brush wet. So you can't really see my water cup. It's off camera over here. It's on the opposite side from my coffee, which is over here. So the first technique we're going to do is something called a scumble. A scumble is a way of blending colors together. My brush got a little wet there. So if you remember the kind of random pattern that I asked you guys to do that white base coat in, you're doing kind of the same thing. You're just kind of working a random pattern of color and trying, or a random pattern of strokes to blend these colors together. So how much of which colors you use all depends on what brick you're trying to make. You want to try to avoid anything that gets too splotchy. You don't want big dots of something. You want to make sure everything is kind of blended out. You do want to make sure you've got some spots where it's fairly pure versions of each color. You don't want to have, you don't want to muddle everything down to nothing. But you also want to make sure that you don't have big like splotches of stuff going on here. You're going back over your, you're potentially going back over your barnwood. You know, that's the way this goes. We paint things, we build things, and then we tear them down and we start over. So here I'm kind of going back and thickening this up a little bit. It was getting a little transparent there. And that wasn't really what I was going for. So trying to get this as random as possible. You don't want to overblend it or get it too homogeneous. Be a little judicious with the blue. The blue is not one of your main colors in this. It's kind of an accent, but and work the red and the brown and a little bit of blue in here and there. I don't think I'm going to end up using the black in this. This seems to be coming out pretty well without it, kind of like I want it to. But again, you want to keep that random pattern of brush strokes. You don't want to be too consistent with the direction of those or anything like that. I have probably too much of a tendency to blend things out. I tend to make my work a little mushier than it needs to be. I say that as I'm going back and doing more blending. So you can be a little more bold. If this step is too consistent, then by the time you do all of the other steps on top of it, what you get is something that's just way too bland, which, you know, depending on the brick you're doing could actually be appropriate. But if you're doing, I'm thinking about like sort of a Little Shop of Horrors brick here or something like that, something that's a little bit more coarse, a little vibrant, and that's what I'm aiming for here. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off and let you guys do this step. Please raise your hand when you're done.